I was watching Boxing Beats and Rhymes video about this particular bit of news. Liam Smith has linked up with Eddie Hearn. He has split with his now former promoter, Frank Warren. It appears to have been an amicable split, and Beats kind of alluded to the fact that it's unusual to hear about the word amicable and split and Frank Warren in the same sentence. My interpretation of the situations that Frank Warren has been in with former fighters, in terms of animosity being there after the fighters leave him, I suspect that it has at least something to do with how much value Frank Warren still sees in any particular fighter. I suspect that has a lot to do with it in terms of Frank Warren's attitude towards the fighter when they leave him, how much value he sees in them, how useful he thinks they are, and of course, how good their solicitors are in the first place when they, drew up the contracts to sign with Warren and agreed to everything and all that kind of business, because, not all, your lawyers or solicitors are going to be equally as capable when it comes to, reading through these contracts and making sure there are no sticky points there. Some legal representation is going to be better than others. But for Liam Smith, for whatever reason, it appears that he has had an amicable split with Frank Warren. He's joined Eddie Hearn in Matchroom. He's joined his brother, who's with Eddie Hearn, Callum Smith. Now, I don't think Frank Warren will be losing any sleep over losing Liam Smith, because what else was he going to do with him? If you look at Liam Smith's record here, he was WBO light middleweight champion briefly. He didn't fight anybody of note. He won it against a guy called John Thompson, who I've never heard of before or since. Then he fought Jimmy Kelly. Then he fought Radosevic, however you pronounce that name. He's fighting a bunch of guys who I'd never heard of before. Then he took on Canelo, got knocked out in 9 rounds, came back, fought Liam Williams a couple times, then finally went in there for his old belt against Jaime Munguia. And although he was down in the 6th, he put up a spirited effort. He lost soundly on the cards, but it was a spirited effort by Liam Smith. And it was one which I think the television networks will remember. Because if you lose, make sure that you put up a good fight if you want to get more fights in the future on certain networks. And Liam Smith did that. Again, he lost soundly on points, but he fought with heart. He stood there and he traded with Jaime Munguia. So I think there's more mileage in Liam Smith as an opponent, as a voluntary challenger for some of the light middleweight champions out there, super welterweight, however you want to call it these days. So I think there's mileage in him for that. And there's also mileage in him as an opponent potentially for Kell Brook in the UK. So I think Eddie Hearn will, I don't like to talk about fighters like this, but I'm just trying to think about the situation as a promoter would, And I think when Eddie Hearn looks at Liam Smith, he thinks there's still some use for Liam Smith at the moment. I could put him in there with Brook. I could maybe get him a title shot. I can box him on the undercard of his brother, Callum, so on and so forth. So, and Eddie Hearn has got a history of going to Liverpool and putting shows on there. And I'm sure Liam Smith will still be able to sell tickets in Liverpool. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Liam Smith signing with Eddie Hearn. Says he'll make his debut in Liverpool on March 30th on a Matchroom show. So, yeah. I mean, this is he world level, Liam Smith? He used to be a world champion, but if you look at who he fought, can we really say he's world level? I don't know. I guess he's like maybe fringe world level, a fringe contender is what you would call Liam Smith at this point. I know, again, he used to have a title, but at this point, I would say he's a fringe contender more than anything. But I would have to imagine that Liam Smith would put up a hell of a lot better fight against somebody like Kell Brook than Brook's last opponent did. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.